Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is David. So as always, if you're new here, hi, welcome. I know some people are new to me and my channel, so if you're watching this, thank you so much. It means the world to me, whether you're subscribed to me or not subscribed to me. Thank you so much. If you're not subscribed to me, please do so. I do upload videos on a regular basis, so thank you for that. Also, I need to drink water because it is a bit warm right now. Even though the weather outside looks really rubbish, it is kind of warm. So, the novel that I'll be talking about today is Stitchhead by somebody called Guy Bass, who I have no intention of ever reading any of his work again. Not saying that this is a bad novel. It's just that I wasn't the target demographic or the target audience. But with that said, I've actually read loads of children's literature this year. It's been really good. I've read Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, Treasure Islands, and The BFG, which was my favourite children's literature book I've read so far, by Roald Dahl. Even though it's not overly the top violent or graphic, it can be a bit gory sometimes with the descriptions of all these massive giants eating and killing all these small children and leaving all their bloody bones everywhere. And yeah, so I mean, also the character of the big friendly giant is such a lovable and enduring character. I love that book so much. And so yeah, I didn't buy this. What actually happened was my brother is a massive David Williams fan. David Williams being a British author. Let me also know down into the comments down below if David Williams is a popular author in your countries, because I know a lot of my subscribers are from America. So let me know down below, no matter what country you're from, whether David Williams is a well-known author in your native homeland. So anyway, my brother has been obsessed with buying David Williams books, and kind of like how I am with Stephen King, ever since last Christmas, where I bought him a little book box set of of about 4 or 5 of his novels in paperback form. And he bought the most recent David Williams book. I don't know what it is. I only know a few titles by David Williams. And I don't know what it is, but he was saying to me that when he bought it, he got Stitchhead for free, brand new in the store, but he had no intention of ever reading it or picking it up or anything like that. And he was taking it down to the second-hand bookstore or the charity shop or the thrift store or whatever you want to call it, and he asked me if I wanted to read it. And I thought, okay, I'll give it a go, and when I finish with it, I'll take it down there myself. I was intending to read this at the end of the year. I mean, not at the end of the year, at the end of the month rather, and bang it out in one day, to finish it in one day. And yesterday, when I was recording my 2001: A Space Odyssey review video, it kind of messed up my routine, my reading routine, and I read a little bit of Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, which I'm absolutely loving right now so much. And then I thought, okay, I'll read this in one sitting. I read this in one sitting in 3 hours with, just cover to cover. And yeah, just got it out the way. And I can't really find much about who Guy Bass is. I'm obviously I found out what books he's actually written on online and published, and I know that he's currently living in London right now. So I presume he's a British author. And this version is illustrated by somebody called Pete Williamson. Again, I don't know who that is as well, but the cover kind of gives you the kind of like a real essence of Tim Burton films, like Corpse Bride and also Edward Scissorhands sprang immediately to my mind when I picked this up and actually looked at it. Also, if I say any names wrong or places wrong in this novel, apologies for that, but I am doing my best. But it is what it is. So this is what it says at the back. In Castle Grotesque, probably said that wrong, something big is about to happen to someone small. Join the mad professor's forgotten creation as he steps out of the shadows into the adventure of an almost lifetime. Almost life is referenced and mentioned a lot in this novel, as kind of a, like Frankenstein. It's like almost alive, if that makes sense. It's not dead, it's not alive, it's almost alive. Um, Pretty sure that made sense. Um, So yeah, I mean, this book has got loads of illustrations into it. Most of the pages are like this, where they look like old pieces of paper and parchments. And some of the pages I've got pictures on it, and some of them. And when you come to a chapter, it has like, this one has like the like fourth chapter, the title of the chapter, and then it has a little blibbity blob, a little poem there, or some description of some kind, because Guy Bass probably thought, okay, I need to put something there just to fill up the space. I don't know. So before I get into it, also this was published in 2001. If anyone really cares. As always, this is going to be a spoiler-free video. I'm not going to spoil you or anything about this story, and this is going to be my own thoughts and opinions regarding this novel. Okay? The story of this book revolves around our main character called Stitchhead, who lives in a castle which is situated in our main town called Grubner's Nubbin. And also the population here, it says 665. But I suppose that if you include you the reader, as a member of this town, or a member of this community, the population is 666, the number of the beast, which is very unusual for a children's book. And also look at how miserable the characters there look. I mean, look, they look really evil and depressed. Really spooky for a children's book. And also look at that, it's weird. All these monsters. Anyway, the novel starts by introducing us to this freak show. That's what's referred to in the book, not by me. There's this freak show that's led by a man called Mr. Freak Finder. Oh, yeah, Freak Finder. That's what his name is, and he has like 3 groups of people in his carnival, in his traveling circus or whatever it is, and one of them has the ability to stretch their limbs and contort themselves. One of them is a bearded lady, and the other one is like these 2 small boys that are twins, and they look really freaky and scary. And then no one finds any of Mr. Freak Finder's attractions or freaks to be interesting enough, and they get bored with it really quickly. And then Freak Finder talks with this little girl, and she says, "Oh, look, there's like a castle there that everyone's afraid of in town, and there's a mad professor up there that's constantly making all these strange and monstrous creatures and monsters and demons and all that sort of stuff, and everyone's all afraid of it." That's the castle in the background, in the at the back of the novel. And Mr. Freak Finder thinks, okay, this is really good. I'm really interested about this, and I want to go up there and get some of these monsters to have in my traveling circus and exploit them for money. That's the type of thing. So we go to the us as the reader, we go to the castle, and we find the professor, who is this mad kind of Dr. Frankenstein type of person, and he is constantly making all these weird monsters come to life. They could be like humanoid characters like Frankenstein and Stitchhead, or it could be something really obscure like a brain with like 7 billion eyeballs and like spider legs. It could be something weird like that. And he constantly is making all these creations come to life, kind of like Dr. Frankenstein was doing with his creation Frankenstein. But every time that he gives all these monsters life, They rampage throughout the castle. They go mad, and he immediately forgets about them. I don't know. I don't know if the professor has kind of a short-term memory loss, like Dory from Finding Nemo or Finding Dory. And then he just goes straight on to the next creation. He's not like she's not portrayed as being a bad or evil figure or being a good person. He's just kind of a character in the book, who is just in the background, you know. Stitchhead is like watching in the rafters when all this is happening. And he, because Stitchhead, we actually find out Stitchhead was the first creation that the professor actually made when he was a little kid, and whether he wanted to make Stitchhead because he was lonely and he wanted a friend is not really explained in the novel, but that's what I think happened, you know. And Stitchhead observes this, and when all the monsters go mad and rampage, because he says that the professor's been using all these weird ingredients when he's been doing all these experiments, like, you know, vampire's blood and werewolf urine and all that kind of stuff. You know, I don't know. And that's what makes these creatures go mad and rampage throughout the castle and go on the killing spree and go and all that. So Stitchhead goes and pursues all these monsters throughout the castle with his little bag of potions, and he makes all these monsters drink all these potions in some way, which calms them down and makes them more civilized, and makes them like big babies, you know, just makes them like calm down and be articulate and all that sort of stuff. And Stitchhead is doing this because he is doing this because of the friendship that he feels for the professor. Even though the professor's completely forgotten about Stitchhead, he doesn't refer to him. They are not friends in any way. But Stitchhead has a incredible loyalty towards the professor, as a person and as a friend, and that's why he's helping him out. And he's doing this more for the professor's sake rather than helping out the monsters. The monsters are just the reason why he's doing this, if that makes sense. One of the main characters, or the monsters that we see in the book, let me just fix this one, is this one, which is our main creature, and that's what the monster is called, Creature. And after Stitchhead gives him the potion and calms him down, he calls Stitchhead his best friend, and he also refers to him as Mummy at one point. And I just want to get out of the way. This book doesn't have any fart jokes, but there is an instance where the monster burps in Stitchhead's face, and it's all like green and grotesque and all gash. You actually get the general idea. So there isn't any fart jokes in this book, but there is a burp joke. So if you don't like crude humour, that may put you off. Stitchhead doesn't really want to have anything to do with the monster. He wants to be left alone in the castle and by himself. And he just wants to continue what he's doing and observing the professor and helping the professor out and protecting his friends, even though they're not friends, you know. He's kind of a extrovert. Or not extrovert, introvert. He's really he keeps himself to himself all the time, and we find the monsters in the castle. The character called Creature finds all these monsters, and he becomes friends with them, and they're just there in the castle. We don't have any character development for any monsters. I mean, specific monsters. They're just there in the castle, kind of like Creature. And as the and we find Creature finds Stitchhead's personal hideout where he lives and where he makes all his potions, which was kind of cool, I suppose. And then as the story progresses, we find that Mr. Freakfinder goes up to the castle, and he is talking to Stitchhead through the slot in the door, and of the castle, and he At first, Stitcher has this blanket over him and kind of hides his appearance. Because he doesn't go outside. None of the monsters go outside because Stitcher says that if they go outside, they all go mad and all that type of stuff. And Mr. Freakfinder slowly finds out about Stitchhead's existence, and he says to him, "Right, I'm going to make you a star in my travelling circus. You are going to be fantastic. Your actually name is going to be up in lights." And he shows him a posters, or he gives him loads of posters with his face, and it says like the unforgettable Stitchhead and the man-boy creation and all that type of things. And he just says, right, you're actually going to be a star if you travel with me. We travel all over the world. You're going to make millions and millions of pounds and all that type of stuff. You'll have your girls throwing underwear at you and all that type of stuff. He doesn't say that, but you get the general idea. Stitchhead at first puts this to one side and says, "Nope, I don't want to have anything to do with that life." And but as the story progresses even further, he gets used to it. He wants to find out what it's like outside the castle, and he opens up the door and says to Freakfinder and his travelling circus of freaks that he wants in. But we find out at the end that Freakfinder has a hidden agenda where he doesn't just want Stitchhead. He wants to have all of the monsters all to himself, and he wants to have the Professor as his slave, basically, where he wants to take the Professor and have him in a certain location all the time, where he's constantly making all these strange creatures, so he can produce all these strange monsters for this travelling circus and for Freakfinder for his travelling circus, so he can make money. Because Freakfinder says that that's his main objective, is when this happens, he wants to make money out of it. Then at the end, I won't say what happens, but the ending is kind of a typical ending for a children's book. Even so, that's really what the story is about. What I liked about it, I found Stitchhead as a character to be okay. I like the artwork of the story. The pages as well, and the new illustrations in the book to be really cool and interesting, and it made the book more, maybe enjoyable to read. And the chapters are very short. The spacing of the words is really good as well. Yeah, and thought the characters were okay. What I didn't like it about it, my dislikes about the book, it's not really for me. It's like a very young children's book, but as you can see, it's very scary. I don't know if, I suppose if your kids are, if you've got young kids that are interested in Tim Burton movies, if they have watched Nightmare Before Christmas, if they watch Corpse Bride, if they watch Edward Scissorhands, even if they've watched the animated Addams Family movie, they will like this novel. But if your children are easily scared and frightened about stuff, whether it's spiders or monsters in general, then maybe give this a miss. But you know what your kids are gonna like. Yeah. But I've no intention, as I said, I have no intention of keeping this. It's gonna go in the bag of other books that are destined to go to the charity shop, and I've no intention of putting this onto my Kindle. Not saying it's a bad book, but it is what it is. If I come across it when I'm in the bookstores, and if it's free or if it's really, really cheap, I think okay, I'll pick it up and give it another go. But there's really nothing much to it. The story isn't different. The story isn't different in any way, in anything I haven't seen before. As I said, it's really like the children's version of Edward Scissorhands, cross between that and the animated version of the Addams Family movie, which also I watched by myself in the cinema. So yeah, but it's innocent enough. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, do I regret rereading this? No, I don't. It's just one I've ticked off on my list now. This is the 38th book I've read in 2020. So yeah, closing thoughts. I mean, if you're interested in children's literature, and if you found this book, don't pay a lot of money for it. But if you like this type of stuff, and if you like Tim Burton films, then yeah, give it a go. But don't go out of your way and don't spend a lot of money on it. And if you got kids that like this type of stuff, then this would be a good book to read them. I wouldn't think as a bedtime story, but as I said, if they like the Tim Burton movies, like A Nightmare Before Christmas and Corpse Bride and all that type of stuff, and the animated Addams Family movie, as I said, then maybe you read this as a bedtime story. The chapters are really short, and you can probably read a chapter in about 10 minutes or so, 10 to 15 minutes, depending on your reading speed. So yeah, that's really it, really. My rating for this is a 2 stars out of 5. I didn't hate it by any means. It is what it is. I don't have any feelings about this, whether it's positive or negative feelings. It is what it is. It's just a short read that I just banged out in one day. But yeah, it's just unbelievable about how Roald Dahl books are really enjoyable to me. I can't wait to read the next one, even though I've only read one of them. I can't wait to read the other ones because I know they're going to be really enjoyable, and I know I'm going to be rating them very highly. But I suppose that this one, I mean, I don't know what ages this book is actually for, because if the kids are really young, they're going to be really frightened of this book. But if they're older, like in their tweens or whatever, about like above 15 years of age, I can't really see anyone over 14 or 15 even enjoying this. So I don't know what kind of age range this book is actually aiming for. But I mean, as I said, you will know you will know if you have kids whether your children will actually find this interesting or not. Whether you're going to be reading it to them or whether they're going to be reading it themselves. But if they like Tim Burton films and if they are trying to read the book for the first time, then this will probably be a good first book for them to read if they like them types of movies. So yeah, that's really it, really. Like, comment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. If you've read this book, and if you've read anything by Guy Bass, I nearly forgot what his name was. Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and give it a thumbs up. Give it a super duper thumbs up. And sorry, and I will see you later, guys. I don't know when my next video will be. I'm just gonna go read more Skyward right now because I really enjoy it. And yeah, that's really it, really, guys. So if you've been with me so far, thank you so much. I wasn't intending for this video to be so long. But yeah, stay safe, stay healthy, and always keep reading. Always keep reading. See you guys. Bye.